Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Alright, hey guys, it's 9 p.m., it's Wednesday, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the experience. This is Drew. And, as you've noticed, I am by myself. Mr. Justin had an unfortunate incident with his AC, and told me he went to go get one, which I sympathize with. It's Texas. It's hot as fuck here. So having an AC is vital, having central air is vital, having a fan is vital. I have a fan on right now. So it's just going to be me tonight. So it's going to be a short show, maybe like 50 minutes, maybe less. Because, like I was saying in, like, I guess the pre-show, I picked the wrong week to not really watch any wrestling other than the pay-per-view and Raw. Hey, yeah, Kyle. So it's just going to be me. I mean, I called in for some favors to see if anyone's willing to jump on and talk a little bit. But it's just me. It's more than likely just going to be me. I have AEW on right now. This is going to shock y'all. I actually was watching AEW tonight. I did. I was a good boy. I watched my All Elite Wrestling to see if there was anything of interest I can gauge from this show. And the best part of the show, the best part of the show, in my opinion, was the MJF and Adam Cole stuff. Since they're now a tag team in this, what do you call it, the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament thingamajigga. Like, what? So, obviously I don't watch a lot, so someone's going to need to explain to me what's the point of the whole Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament. I mean, are they going to get a title shot in the future, or what's really the point? I don't get it. But hey, Maurice, Anna's saying there is no point. All right. So for anyone just joining, let me just reiterate what I was saying earlier. No Justin tonight. It's me. Justin had to call in, so it's just going to be me tonight, flying solo. I did call in for some favors, but it's more than likely just going to be me, which I'm fine with. I mean, I've been a solo act for the most part, so it's really nothing I can't handle. So we're just going to have to bear with me. But yeah, AEW, the Adam Cole MJF stuff was entertaining. Adam being the straight man and MJF just being just kind of a goofball. That was legit making me laugh, and I don't really laugh at a lot of things in wrestling, but that was actually kind of funny because MJF is funny. He's funny when he needs to be. He gets comedy in wrestling without having to be a complete jerk off like the Elite. He knows how to be funny, and Adam Cole was just like who the fuck is this guy? So it was nice seeing that. That was probably the only part of the show that I can remember that was actually entertaining. For the most part, I was actually out of the room. Adam Cole runs from buffets. Just doing other shit, trying to clean all the shit on my car, because we went to the beach yesterday, and I was gone all day, so like I said, I missed NXT, but I know what happened. But I got sunburned like a motherfucker. Like, I am red. My whole face is red. It's already starting to break out. My whole body is red. The only part of my body that isn't red is where my trunks were. Yeah, I'm Brother Love, Maurice. I love you. I won't ever do that again. I'm sorry. But, I am red as fuck. And I need to put on some more lotion in a bit. But, red like Mr. Crab. Thank you. I am Mr. Crab, people. It certainly does fit. Yeah, and AEW, that was the only really part of the show that seemed important to me. And then the main event was Kenny Omega versus Wheeler Yuta, which you can imagine my excitement for that match. And then there was like an Owen Hart eliminator thingy-majigga with Britt Baker and Ruby won. Good, because I like Ruby. And they were just setting up for this Saturday for Punk versus Samoa Joe and the Owen Hart thing, which, not gonna lie, I'll watch, because it's Samoa Joe and CM Punk. Like, who's not gonna want to watch that? But that was AEW tonight, people. In my own words. Well, come on, Anna. That's mean. But I guess I'll just go over results for other shows, even though I didn't really watch them. So SmackDown happened. SmackDown was last Friday, June 30th. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Pretty Deadly in a tag team title match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn won. I imagine that was a good match. Ridge Holland versus Austin Theory. Theory defeated Theory defeated Holland. Shotzi versus Bayley for Bayley's Money in the Bank spot. Bayley defeated Shotzi. And it doesn't even tell me what the fuck else happened. But yeah, the Bloodline thing I did see. Feels weird talking about these shows I didn't fucking watch. Should I just talk about the... Should I just go with the shows and then the pay-per-view, or what the hell? What? Let me just talk about the shows and then the pay-per-view. Von Kali attacked somebody. Yeah, if only Justin was here to experience that, because he loves him some Von Kali. Von Kali. Let's see. Collision happened. Didn't really watch it. MJF versus... Was it a match? MJF versus Ethan Page. MJF won. Dustin Rhodes versus Hobbs. Hobbs won. Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks won. Good. Chris Statlander versus Lady Frost. Statlander won. Roderick Strong versus Joe. Joe won and then put Roderick Strong on a stretcher. So, it was a pre-tape. I forgot. So, Raw I did watch. So, let me go with Raw. Monday Night Raw was in Baltimore. I was recording with Jeff Littman for our Patreon show while I had Raw on, so I can see everything that was going on. So, if you're on Patreon, listen to it. If you're not, sign up today. It's just $5 a month, people. Opening segment, Seth Rollins came out to the ring and was about to talk, and Cody Rhodes comes out, I guess, to kind of set up a feud between the two, or to rehash their feud. And then Brock came out, and then Cody just made a beeline right at Brock, and they just brawled for a little bit. The whole while, Seth is just sitting outside in front of the crowd like, yeah, I ain't fucking with that. I thought that was kind of funny. So we're getting Cody and Brock, I guess, part 3 at SummerSlam. There's a lot of speculation as to, I guess, what kind of match they're going to have. Just join the goddamn Drew Yard Patreon or Woe Wrestling Entertainment. Wait. Just join the goddamn Drew Yard Patreon or Woe Wrestling will find you. Thank you, Goof. Thank you. Threaten everybody to sign in. Have everybody sign up through fear. As long as I get some more donors. That's all I care about. So where was I? Oh yeah, afterwards, Seth comes back in the ring, and then Judgment Day comes out to confront him, and then Seth and Dom start talking shit, and they have a match, so they're going to be in the main event of Raw. Damian Priest versus Nakamura. Priest won. Decent match. I think this is the first time these two have ever actually wrestled. And, I mean, as you can imagine, good match. And it looks like Priest isn't going to be one of those Money in the Bank winners that loses every match. I mean, how can he? He's fucking Damian Priest. He looks like an ass kicker, so I can imagine he's going to win some matches. Rousey confronts Baszler. I can't tell who's supposed to be the face or the heel. Are we supposed to have sympathy for Ronda, or are we supposed to have sympathy for Baszler? Because Baszler seemed like she was getting more babyface cheers. And she was telling Ronda, Oh, shut up, Anna. She was telling Rhonda, kind of like everybody else. We're all sick of hearing you talk on the microphone. And then she just she yeets, as the kids would say, Rhonda right in the fucking face. So good. Alpha Academy versus Viking Raiders. Alpha Academy won. Good for them. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. Was this for the championship? I'm guessing it was for the championship, but hey, they wanted to make Natalya look like something. Because wasn't she there's just like a thing came out where she was in the Guinness Book World Records for something. I think she had like the most matches for a woman, and she's been on the most Raws and most pay-per-views for a woman's wrestler. Which, hey, everyone knows how much I love Natalya on this show. I can't take away her talent. I can't take away her accomplishments. Good for Natalya. And they wanted to make this match seem more competitive because the past two matches, she's been bitched out. So they wanted to make her look like something in this match, at least. But, decent match. Rhea won because she should. And they wanted to throw Natalya a bone. So good for them. Matt Riddle versus Giovanni Vinci. Riddle won. Gunther came out to cause a little bit of ruckus, and then that's when Drew came out. Drew McIntyre. Not me, Drew McIntyre. And to set up a potential match between those two, which I'm assuming is going to be at SummerSlam, since Drew technically didn't get his one-on-one match with Gunther. He only had the triple threat at Mania, which a lot of people will pick as their match of the year, which I don't blame you. So, I mean, those two are going to beat the fuck out of each other. That's going to be awesome to watch. Let's see. Main event time, you had Dominic versus Seth Rollins, a non-title match. Pretty decent match. Dom continues to impress. I mean, granted, you put him in there with guys who can work, like Cody and Seth, and of course his dad. So they're gonna be able to bring out the best in him. So, and then say what you want about Seth. I know people are kind of tired of his antics. They don't like the whole get up, wardrobe, whatever the hell he's supposed to be fucking wearing out there. But Seth can go. Like, when the red light's on, Seth can go. So he brought out a pretty good match in Dom. I mean, the match ended in DQ after, who was it, Finn? Was it Finn that caused a distraction? No, it was Damien. Damien, there you go. Yeah, there you go. But Damien looked like he was about to cash in. Then, of course, Finn comes out to screw him over, which continues that storyline between the two. And Seth walks away while they're arguing. The whole time Dom's just like getting into him, like, guys, he's right back there, guys, he's leaving. And then Dom tries to go after Seth, and Seth pedigrees him and then walks away. So that continues that storyline. But that is Monday Night Raw, people. It wasn't bad from what I saw. Okay, let's see what else we got here. NXT, like I mentioned, I did not get to watch because I was out. I was at the beach. But I did... Actually, I watched some clips. I'm lying. I did watch the clips. I know what happened. Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport. Davenport wins. Interesting because I like Davenport. I think she's someone that can be a main player on the roster. She has a look, and she's very talented. Having her go over against Roxy. Oh, I keep wanting to call her Roxanne. But yeah, I guess, she was Roxy in Ring of Honor. She's Roxanne now. But having her go over against Roxanne, makes sense. And it's not going to hurt Roxanne in the long run. Roxanne has a lot of potential. She is really good, really talented. She has a lot of fire in her. My problems with her mainly have just been kind of just her demeanor. I mean, she's still kind of stuck in that rut of, she has what I always call the "I'm happy to be here," voice. I'm happy to be here. I love puppies and Jesus and blah blah blah. Like there's really no fire to her. And the talent's there, but she needs to work on her promos. But she's only 21, so she has like a lot of years to improve on all that. I mean, she's only been wrestling for since she was 16, 17. But good for Blair Davenport. Mustafa Ali versus Tyler Bate. Ali won by pinfall. I would imagine that was a good match, but I did not see it, unfortunately. Kalani Jordan with Dana Brooke versus Tatum Paxley. Jordan won. This I did see this. The NXT Underground Eddie Thorpe versus Damon Kemp. I did see when Gable Steveson came out and just started suplexing people. Like he was fucking Kurt Angle. And that was pretty fucking impressive. Because, this dude has been signed with WWE for 2 years, and he has not had a match. He has not had any contact with anyone, as far as I remember. And to see him do that suplex people, I thought was really impressive. So, I know a lot of people aren't too happy with Steveson, because of the allegations that he has, which I'm not going to talk too much about that, but again, not trying to wash over the allegations, but he looked impressive out there. I'll just say that. Lyra Valkyria versus JC Jane. Valkyria won. Loser leaves NXT match. The Creed brothers versus Dyad. The Dyad. I know a lot of people were very of the mindset that that the Dyad was going to lose because the Grizzled Young Vets put it out there that they wanted to leave. I guess that's not the case anymore. I guess maybe they just needed some convincing. Maybe they got more money. Maybe I don't know. But they won, and the Creed brothers are gone from NXT. So I'm assuming they're going to be on the main roster, sooner rather than later. Which good because, I get these guys confused. Who's the big swole looking Creed brother? The one that kind of looks like Kurt Angle. Is it Julius? Yeah, the one that does the shooting star press. Who is it? Julius? Anyone? Bueller? Yeah, Julius. Thank you, Maurice. He looks like a star. He is really good. The other Creed brother I'm not crazy about, but they're both good. You bring them up to the main roster. I think it'd be really interesting if you pair him with Chad Gable and Otis. That would be a nice little faction, kind of like the new Varsity Club. But that'd be pretty fucking awesome. And then the show ends with Braun Breaker just coming out and talking about, leaving the company, or not leaving the company, but leaving NXT, and then Ilya Dragunov comes out to challenge him, which I'm assuming that's going to be at Great American Bash, which is in Texas. Okay. Which is going to be in Cedar Park, Texas, which is outside of Austin, or it's pretty much Austin. And I mean, I'm still debating on going if I'm able to go, but that's going to be a fucking good match. I mean, you got Ilya, who is great. I mean, the guy's, again, yeah, he's small, but the guy's explosive. The guy can wrestle with anyone. He wrestled with fucking Dijak, and that's one of the best matches I've seen all year. And Dragunov can have good matches with anyone, regardless of the size. I mean, he had great matches with Gunther, or Walter, or whatever you want to call him. I'll go. I'll try to go, Maurice. And then, of course, Braun's Braun. So that's probably going to be, Braun's, last match in NXT before he gets up to the main roster. But that was NXT, people. Let's see. I guess I should do ratings. Sorry. Alright, so ratings for this week. Monday Night Raw got, for July 3rd, 1.828 million, which is down from last week. Still pretty impressive. SmackDown, I think they got like 2.7 or something. June 30th for preliminary, 2.3. The final was 2.5, and this is a pre-tape show, so that's still pretty impressive. Did NXT's viewership come out? No, that did not come out. But let's look at Collision ratings. Alright, here we go. Collision, which was in Ontario. On the July 1st, Collision only got 452 viewers. It was a pre-tape show, right? I believe so, yeah. I mean, nonetheless, the viewership has been kind of tanking. I know that first episode had a substantial amount of viewers. I think it had like 800,000 something. Cause, again, it was out of like, interest and, intrigue because, Punk was on the show. And, the viewership has gone down, which... Punk on AEW adds something to it, and it makes it watchable. It makes it better because a lot of what he does on the show is, seems more legit and it makes sense. And, Collision compared to, obviously Rampage should just be a fucking YouTube show and just make that a Ring of Honor show. And, or just fucking move Collision to move Collision to Fridays. Put it in Rampage's spot. But I digress. But, Collision, from the episodes I saw compared to Dynamite, it's a much better wrestling show because it makes sense. The matches make sense. The promos and the vignettes make sense. But at the same time, I don't think CM Punk has that kind of drawing power the way people think he does. And granted, it might also help, or doesn't help, with the fact that for months, the company was pretty much like, pissing in his mouth because they're siding with the elites. But, who am I to... But, what do I know? Alright, so let's get to Money in the Bank real quick. Alright, Money in the Bank was Saturday in London, the O2 Arena. The first WWE pay-per-view in London since 2003. Insurrection. The first match on the card. The men's Money in the Bank match. Damian Priest, LA Knight, Butch, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Fun match, a little bit predictable. It was nice seeing Logan Paul and Ricochet, kind of renew that feud. Or not even really a feud, but kind of renew that moment that they had at the Rumble, which to this day I'm still kicking myself for not recording that when it was live. So it looks like they're going to have a match at SummerSlam, which, cool. That's gonna be fun. That's going to be a fun match to watch. It's going to be very athletic. I didn't like that spot where they were kind of like pushing each other out of the ring because it looked like Logan could have like hurt his neck. Which I'm just like, yeah, that wasn't necessary. You didn't need to do that. But it was nice seeing Logan just be like the guy just getting shit on by everybody in the match. Like, even the heels. Like, when Logan was doing, like, pretty big spots, you heard the crowd saying, "You still suck. You still suck." I don't know. Logan's just, again, of all the celebrities, he's the best one. Obviously. I mean, he's been good in everything he showed up in. And then there was that spot with Damian Priest where he's like, "No, let's work together, let's take him out," and then Priest ends up taking him out. Priest won, which I had said, in the previous show from last week, which I think everybody had Priest as their second, as far as I can see. Like, he was my second because I like Priest. LA Knight's just over, like, is over like a motherfucker. Like, Stevie Wonder can see how over this guy is. The whole crowd was chanting for him. Like, he gets chants when he's not even in a segment. Like, when they were doing, like, the... what do you call it? I guess, like, the panel for one of the pay-per-views, like, people were chanting for him. And it's like, he was so over, and he didn't even have a match at the last, like, Saudi Arabia pay-per-view that they just had to invite him. Because the crowd wanted him that bad. And I mean, we haven't seen a guy this over in a while. I mean, I know Cody's over, but, like, Cody's missing one thing that LA Knight has that not a lot of people have had in a while, and that's a catchphrase. Like, how many guys nowadays have a catchphrase that is massively over? I mean, yeah, Roman has acknowledged me, but, like, yeah is something that people can chant and just rolls off the tongue a lot better than acknowledge me. Like, yeah, you can just go, yeah, let me talk to you. And I mean, the WWE machine has really done a good job at putting this guy over, because when he was in Impact, he wasn't even this over. When he was in NWA, he wasn't this over, but then again, that was NWA. Gets to WWE and just gets massively over. I mean, is the guy, like, the best in the ring? No, but he doesn't need to be. Like, not everybody needs to be AJ Styles or Shawn Michaels. You just need to have a good character and get over. You need to have a larger-than-life personality. When you walk into a room, everybody just looks at you. And that's LA Knight. Like, he has this larger-than-life personality that people love, and he really should have won. Like, he should have won. Damian, I think they just gave him the briefcase just so he can further the storyline with Finn and the Bloodline. Well, not Bloodline, Judgment Day. Which is, I mean, again, I like Damian, but Damian's not really over. I mean, with these things, you give it to people that are over. LA Knight is over like a motherfucker. I mean, at least they have this is hoping that they have an idea for him, which is keep this gravy train rolling. Do something with him. Put him in a meaningful feud. I mean, me and RJ reviewed this over the weekend on the Patreon. Sign up, or Goof will send somebody to take care of you. But he was suggesting, put LA Knight in a feud with Theory for the U.S. title, because speaking of someone with no momentum, Austin Theory doesn't have any momentum. Ever since WrestleMania, he's had no momentum. And he also pointed out that he's kind of missing something. And it's a valley, because, like, him and Pretty Deadly, there's something about him that just doesn't really work, because you look at them. No. Oh, you mean muscle as in, like, a heater? Like a big man, a big dude, like a Diesel covering his back. Okay, I can agree with that. But, like, him with Pretty Deadly just doesn't go together, because Pretty Deadly's whole thing is we're supposed to be like an 80s, British, hair metal band thing. And Austin Theory is supposed to be this, this white boy from Georgia with soul in his voice. I think Austin Theory has muscle. I think he's very much in shape. But there's just something missing about him. I think he needs a heater, in my opinion. Like, he needs a Diesel. He needs somebody. Put a hot girl with him. I don't know, do something with him. But he's lost a lot of momentum. Put him in a feud with LA Knight. See how that can work. Because at this point, LA Knight's a face. He is over like fuck. But again, I'm not mad at Priest for winning, but just Priest is really not over. He's over to an extent, but he's not, like, massively over. I mean, he gets a reaction, but LA Knight, just to me, the wrong person won this match, in my opinion. Next, you had the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Liv Morgan, Raquel versus Ronda and Shayna. I actually stepped outside to smoke while this match was going on, because I didn't care. I really didn't care about this match. This match shouldn't even been on the show, like, for one thing. But I come back in, all of a sudden I just hear all the ruckus on TV, like, oh, this is happening, things are happening, big things are happening, and then I look in, and that's when Ronda turned on Shayna. And I'm like, okay, didn't see that happening. They didn't even, like, build up to that happening. But Liv and Raquel won. They're tag team champions again, so... And Liv looking hot. I can't front. Liv looks hot. But next, you had Gunther versus Matt Riddle in an Intercontinental Championship match. This match was a little underwhelming. I don't know. To me, I was just like, I would have liked more time for this match. I would have. As a matter of fact, my biggest complaint for this whole pay-per-view is time. A lot of matches, other than the main event and also the Money in the Bank matches, didn't really have a lot of time to flourish. And this match, I think, could have used more time. Because, I mean, you look at the guys in it, it's Gunther. Gunther is the ring general for a reason, because any match he's in is always the best match on the card. And then Riddle, when he wants to go, can go. And, I know RJ specified, these guys had good matches in Progress and everywhere else, but it's like that was then, this is now. That was a different Matt Riddle, and this is a new Matt. I don't know if I want to say a new Matt Riddle, but that was Matt Riddle from then. This is a different Matt Riddle, and this is a different Gunther. So I don't know. Maybe Matt Riddle's kind of lost his step since coming back. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're punishing him for fucking up, but this is a really underwhelming match. Only 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Gunther wins with an ankle lock. That was kind of the story, is that he was working on Riddle's ankle, so he wins with an ankle lock. And that's when Drew returns, Drew McIntyre, and just gets right in his face. So it was good seeing Drew McIntyre. He got a nice reaction from the crowd. Hold on. Okay. Alright, next match, Cody Rhodes versus Dominic in a singles match. Cody Rhodes gets the win. And that was a decent match. It's funny because on, I think, SmackDown, Raw from last week, I think it was Michael Cole that was saying, was it Michael Cole? Then it was Michael Cole that was SmackDown, but it was Michael Cole that was saying that this is going to be the main event. I'm like, okay, if it's the main event, that means Brock is coming back? And if that's the case, does that mean Dom is going to win? Realistically, if you were to win, it should have been like by disqualification or count out. More so count out. And that's something you can just give Dom to further his ego with his character. Just like because he assumes that he went to, because he likes to tell everyone, I went to prison, I had to suffer a hard time, and then he can add, I beat Cody Rhodes, I beat your boy, I beat the American Nightmare. And just telling RJ over the weekend, I'm like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine Cody, or not Cody, but Dom just like fucking with people and coming out to Cody's music and wearing his getup and just holding it over Cody, I beat you in a match, regardless of the fact that it was by count out. Like, I think they had a missed opportunity with that, to just give Dom something to really further his character. And that kind of makes, I guess, Brock and Cody's match a little bit more special, because Brock can just be like, I screwed you over, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. But again, another match that suffered from time issues. Like, I thought the match could have been longer, because when the match ended, I was like, that was it. I'm not saying it should have been like 30 minutes. Maybe like 3 or 4 minutes longer, because it got to a point where it was really starting to like, I was really starting to kind of get into the match. Like they didn't even like get a chance to shift gears. But right when the match ended, I'm like, that was it. Okay. Good match, but it could have been longer to really benefit. It could have benefited Dominic more. Not to say it didn't, because he got to work with Cody, but I think they needed more time. Let's see. Let's go to the next match. All right. I don't think the match was pointless. Money in the Bank ladder match for the Women's Championship. Io Sky, Io Sky, Bayley, Becky, Trish, Zelina, and Zoe. Probably better than the men's Money in the Bank. Might even be my favorite match of the night. I was assuming this was going to be a straight up botch fest. And it really wasn't, because you had some good women in the match to kind of, make sure that didn't happen. You had Io, Bayley was the ring general, Becky was, I guess, second ring general. Trish was maybe a little immobile in the match, which I get why, because Trish has never had a ladder match in her whole life. So, and also she's Trish. I don't think Trish needs to be the one doing, the big spots. She's Trish Stratus. She just needs to be Trish. She needs to be hot. I know there was a bit in the match where I think she got nicked. She got like a bruise on her nose, and I was actually kind of happy that she came out the next night wearing a mask. I was kind of hoping she would maybe take it a little step further and just tell the fans, you don't deserve to see my beautiful face. Yeah, I reviewed it earlier, Savage. I actually watched the show, and I only really reviewed the things that really made more sense to me. So you can catch it on the download. But yeah, Trish was a little immobile, but I get why. Zelina had a nice little spot in the match where she did her Code Red on who was it, Zoe? I mean, that was entertaining. So I mean, surprisingly, I saw people picking Zelina. I have no idea why. And Zoe, I thought, was really good. Like she was kind of a shining star in this match. Like, she is really good. Her punches look legit. The only thing missing from her is personality. She needs personality like bad, because she cannot talk for shit. And I don't know. Hopefully, being around Trish is gonna work in some like decadence. But this is a fun match. Io got the win. I think everyone picked Io to win. It was a really creative finish with Bayley and Becky going at it, and then they had the handcuffs, and Io comes in and handcuffs them both in the middle of the ladder and just climbs over Bayley and just takes the fucking briefcase. That was good. That was some good shit. And Bayley's ass. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Bayley's ass for a second. Alright. Give me 1 second. Where the fuck is this shit? Are you kidding me? Okay, sorry. I did not go to poop. I'm still here. I am... somebody was writing me. I had to reply back, so sorry about that. But anyways, bad habit. Next, you had Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth getting the win. Again, another match that kind of suffered from time restraints. I was hoping this match would get more time. At least maybe 5 minutes more. Because, I mean, there was a point in this match where these guys were about to, shift into second gear. But they just, again, time restraints. Because all that went to the fucking Usos and Roman, which is like... We'll get to the main event. But, like, I thought this match could have been longer. I mean, it was a good match, but it felt like a TV match. it was a Monday Night Raw match, and it's a shame because these two can go. Finn can go, Seth can go. Damian came out to cause a little bit of distraction and just, fuck with Seth, but also kind of fuck with Finn, because, Damian had the match with Seth a few weeks ago, and Finn kind of fucked with the match, so Damian kind of paying him back. I know I did call, Damian winning Money in the Bank and coming out to cash it in, and then I realized maybe that's too predictable. I would have liked it more if Finn worked on the ribs, because it just seemed like he worked on the ribs, and it's just like it didn't matter. I know it's fake, but it's like, come on, just make the shit look believable. Like, oh boy. Main event time. You got the Bloodline Civil War tag match. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay versus Roman and Sol Sequoia. This is the longest match of the night, 32 minutes and 10 seconds. In the pre-show, Paul Heyman came out with tears in his eyes. And, I don't know, Paul Heyman is just good. Like, there needs to be a class on promos. And Paul Heyman needs to be the teacher. This match was way too long. It did not need to be this long. I know Roman likes having these long, anticlimactic matches. And I know RJ pointed out, during our group chat where he's kind of tired of the Roman Reigns, formula kind of matches where they're all very anticlimactic, they're all very long, the referee always gets knocked out, there's always fuckery, and yeah, that's how it usually comes out. And I'm kind of on that camp too, where it's like every fucking match with Roman Reigns always has some kind of interference. Any match with Roman Reigns, the referee gets knocked out, it's always anticlimactic. The ending seems very rushed. In this case, the ending wasn't rushed, but the match was way too long. I mean, there were definitely some points where I was zoning out. I mean, the whole Roman sitting in the middle of the ring and crying thing I thought was too much. I know Roman wants to go to Hollywood pretty soon, but why was Roman crying? I didn't get that. I didn't get that point. Like, you could have shaved off 10 minutes of this match and given it to other matches that needed it more. But in the end, I mean, and also it was kind of funny. I got a kick out of the London crowd, shit talking Roman and just like saying stuff like Roman's a wanker, fuck you Roman, and also saying, take your shoe off if you hate Roman. And just Roman looking legitimately confused, like, what are they saying to me? And then Jey Uso getting the pin. Jey Uso the first man to pin Roman in 3.5 years since Baron Corbin, if you can believe that. And then someone pointed out a fact that Jey Uso was actually the first man to pin Roman in WWE back in 2013 when Roman was with the Shield. So, continuity. Wasn't a bad match, but it was just like, it was too long. Why did it need to be this long? And apparently Vince is working on the Roman shit, which makes sense, but it was way too long. The match was way, way too fucking long. But, on the bright side, Jimmy got the pin. Jay, I'm sorry. Jay got the pin. And, we're gonna see Jay stuff. Supposedly the rumor for SummerSlam is we're getting Jay and Roman in the main event for the title. So, good. It all started with Roman and Jay. Now it's going to end with Roman and Jay. And I'm a big proponent for Jay because I think Jay is very talented. He's a really good, sympathetic, stomp and clap babyface. When he talks, you believe him. He's not exactly small. I mean, he's not a small guy, but he's not a big guy. But he looks like a wrestler. He's very fit and cut. And the opposite of Jimmy. Jimmy's kind of getting a little chubs, which I'm not one to talk, but I mean, just point out facts. Jimmy's kind of getting a little big, which is weird because there's a point where Solo was starting to get a little big, but now he's starting to lose weight. Now my nose is getting stuffed up for some reason. Jesus Christ. But what they do with the bloodline after this, me and RJ, if you're on the Patreon, just listen to what me and RJ said, because I don't want to keep quoting everything, but like, we had just pointed out the best way to continue the bloodline is you don't need to end it. You can just continue it. And it doesn't necessarily need to be like Samoan people. Like, you can add in associates to the bloodline. Like, you know, put Braun Breaker in the bloodline. I mean, and that also kind of goes deep in the bloodline of, like, his family was in wrestling. His uncle Scotty and his dad Rick. Like, that's a bloodline. I mean, you could put Von Wagner. Oh, I wish Justin was here to hear that. You put Von Wagner in the bloodline. His dad was a wrestler. I mean, you could put other associates that, you know, were non-generation talent. You could put Dijak in the bloodline. You know, put Bronson Reed in bloodline. Put who's the guy in NXT that's also Samoan? I forget his name. Anyone help me out here? NXT Zion Quinn. There you go. Zion Quinn. You put Zion Quinn in the bloodline. It's like, continue this gravy train. I mean, it's like the NWO. Just keep it going, but don't veer off your path to where it becomes a parody of itself. Because that's what the NWO ended up doing. But that's me. Overall, Money in the Bank, I gave it a 7.5. Primarily just due to length. Like, there were matches that I wanted more out of, but just didn't get what I wanted. And the main event was way too long. It really did not need to be that long. And you could have easily taken the fucking women's tag team title match off the show and put it on Friday. And it wouldn't have changed anything. But that was Money in the Bank, people. So that's really everything I reviewed. There's something else I wanted to do. Since we're already in July and we're technically in the middle of the year, I wanted to do something interesting. So, since we're in the middle of the year, I'm gonna pick my choices for my middle of the year awards. All right, so middle of the year awards, best match of the year. I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte at Mania. Fantastic match, the best women's match I've ever seen, bar none. I can't really think of any other matches that were that good. So, Rhea and Charlotte, that was awesome. Worst match of the year, the Bray Wyatt LA Knight Mountain Dew fuckity fuck match. Awful match. Was there live? It was just not good. Bad. Just bad. B-A-D, bad. I mean, the only bright spot that came out of it was LA Knight survived it. So, good for that, but that match sucked. Male Wrestler of the Year, I'm going to go with Seth Rollins as my Male Wrestler of the Year. I think he's had a lot of the best matches on the card. I was going to go with Cody, but because Cody is still massively over. But I don't know, Seth has had better matches in my opinion, so I'm going to go with Seth. Worst Male Wrestler of the Year, I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds to guess who my worst Male Wrestler of the Year is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You haven't guessed? Jon Moxley. I just picked Seth as my favorite wrestler of the year, Anna. No, Jon Moxley, worst male wrestler of the year. He is just god-awful. Just god-awful. Doesn't have good matches. Just has proven that he is worthless without gimmicks. And he's just not good. Like, I just... It drives me nuts when I see people, you know, talk about how hard he works and that he's great and that he blah, blah, blah. It's like, what are we watching? What show are we watching that you see this and I don't? He is awful. Sammy Guevara at least has talent. Jon Moxley sucks. He is awful. Let's see. Female Wrestler of the Year. I'm going to go with Rhea. Rhea's Rhea. She's proven herself. She is great. And love the mommy role. Love her and Dom together. Hopefully they don't split that up anytime soon. So I'm going to go with Rhea. Worst female wrestler of the year. I mean, there's a lot. It'd be easy to say Dana Brooke, but I don't think Dana Brooke's had that many matches this year. So who's a worse female wrestler of the year? Oh, God, Anna. That's awful. Worst female wrestler of the year. Fuck, I'm going to say Dana Brooke because she sucks. Fuck her. Best tag team of the year. I mean, yeah, the Usos haven't really had. The Usos just lost. Yeah, I'll go with FTR. They're the best tag team of the year. Worst tag team of the year. I don't really think there's any bad tag teams, in my opinion. Yeah, I can't think of any bad tag teams. I'm going to have to come back to that. Overrated wrestler of the year. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to figure out who that is. Yeah, just Mr. Kenneth Omega. That is my overrated wrestler of the year. And he proved that in his match with Ospreay. Underrated wrestler of the year. That's going to be underrated. There's a lot. There's a lot of underrated wrestlers out there. I mean, Escobar is pretty underrated. Thea Hale, I think, is very underrated. Chad Gable is very underrated. It's just we don't get to see too much of him because of his gimmick. He has a gimmick where he has to be kind of a goof, and it works. But kind of wish we'd see more of him. Underrated. Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Underrated. Ah, man, it's tough. I can't really think of who's underrated. There's so much good talent that kind of doesn't really get, put in the bright lights as much as they should. No, I'm going to go with Chad Gable. Fuck it. Chad Gable, underrated wrestler of the year. Most improved, Tiffany. Tiffany has massively improved in the past year. And she proved it with her match against Thea. You had two green girls in the ring, and they both had a really good match. You had Tiffany, who I'm not sure how old Tiffany is, and Thea Hale, who is 19 years old, and they had a really good match. And Tiffany had to be the one that brought that over, and Tiffany's kind of green herself, so they did really good. So Tiffany is my most improved. 2023 is my year award. I should change that to 2024. Hold on. I don't know if I should use that just yet. I think that's best saved for the last show of the year. Best moment of the year. Best moment. Oh, man. If I had to pick, I would say CM Punk coming back at Collision and just dropping that promo. Just with the best line of the night. If you feel like I owed you an apology, I'm sorry that you're softer than the wrestlers you like. So I'm gonna go with that. Best pay-per-view of the year. Probably night one of WrestleMania. That's my pay-per-view of the year. Worst pay-per-view of the year. Ooh. Worst pay-per-view of the year. Well, All In hasn't happened, so I can't say All In. Oh, man. Double or Nothing. There you go. Double or Nothing. That's the worst pay-per-view of the year. But those are my mid-year awards. And it's really for the show, guys. Like I said, it'd be a short show. Solo show. And yeah, man. Thank you guys for coming in and listening. And see you next week. I think there is a Q&A next Saturday. So thank you, Anna. Thank you to everybody that showed up and listened. But thank you for this solo show. And also, I gotta plug this Patreon. Patreon is just $5 a month, and you will not be disappointed by what you listen to. I do a few shows on there with Ruben Prime called Culture Attack. I was going to call him Andrade. RJ, I do a show with RJ called Revenge of the Savage Nerds. We just did a show where we reviewed Money in the Bank, so listen to that. And I do a show with Jeff Lippman called Garden of Droom, which we just dropped a show recently, so listen to that. It's only $5 a month, people. It's a pretty damn good deal. You won't be disappointed. It's usually non-wrestling related, but you're going to love what you hear. I guarantee it. And just shout out to everybody that listens and supports the show and downloads and whatnot. But I'll see you next Wednesday. And Justin will be here. He should be here. So, but anyways, guys, take care and peace.